More shock reviews. Shocking!
That works so good.
Hey, what is going on, YouTubers? Big Philly with Poor Boys RC. Thank you again for tuning in. Just wanted to do yet another shock review for you fine folks out there. As you can probably tell, I've got a lot of projects on the go. Today we're going to talk about the Yeah Racing aluminum big bores. Part number BBG0065BK. Let's dig a little deeper, take a closer look at these guys, and see what you get. So again, packaging is a lot nicer than the standard Endura packaging. This is a little more retail oriented. It's got a nice label on it, Yeah Racing, and they do come nicely packaged with a few goodies inside. So let's take a look at what happens when you open these up. I've already opened up a set off camera, and we're just going to start off with the instruction manual here. I mean, not a lot to really go over with the instructions. They really explain, how simple things are here. Put your oil in here, pump the shock up and down to release the oil bubbles, any air bubbles that are in the oil, and pretty straightforward. One nice thing about these is that it does come with a little membrane. They call it a membrane here, so just a little rubberized membrane to put on top to reduce any potential oil leaks. And that's about it. Super duper simple. Little legend at the top here kind of tells you what comes along with the shocks. And so you are getting your shocks, 3 sets of springs, a 3.5 millimeter threaded ball, some pivot balls, and a ball with no thread. So we'll get into that here because that might not sound like much, but as you get into the shocks, that is actually a pretty nice little add-on that the Enduras I've been reviewing lately do not come with. So here's what we've got, and I guess on camera you can't see a whole heck of a lot there. Let's crack these bad boys open. So here's what they're giving us. They're giving us a nice chunk of metal in there. So a nice threaded ball. Can you see that? A nice threaded ball for a certain type of setup. If your shock is to just sit right on top of it, boom, you're all good to go. The non-threaded ball, again, a lot of you Tamiya guys would know about this, where a screw would go in to this non-threaded ball, then your shock would sit on that ball. And last but not least is just the lower sort of, or upper eyelet. What do they call it here? They call it a pivot ball. So this pivot ball, you take a set of pliers, you pop it in there, and then you can just put a screw right through it. So depending on your setup on your rig, they've kind of thought of everything. And you've got all the hardware right here to fit on your rig. Great job, Yeah Racing. They thought of everything. Another nice upgrade here versus the Enduras is that you do get a variety of pistons. And here we've got a set of, 2 holes, a set of 3 holes. I've already opened the shock up. They came with a 4-hole inside. So already have pistons, 4-hole pistons in there, and a nice variety of shock pistons included, which is totally sweet. And then from there, let's get into the shocks themselves and the springs. So shocks, I'm going to start with the shocks before I get into the springs. First of all, how do they look? You tell me, how does that look? I'll get that hand out of the way here. Let's do this. How does that look? It's a really, really nice looking shock. They've done a good job with these. There's some nice sort of laser etching at the top there. Don't know if you can read that or not. Big bore, Yeah Racing, pretty cool. I don't love this color, this kind of coppery reddish brown, but to be honest, that color is going to work really well on the Wild Dagger, I think. I think it's just kind of an older brown. Kind of reminds me of the walls of like my mom's best friend's house back in '83. So I think it's going to work on this rig. We have a fully threaded big bore shock body, so we have a ton of adjustment here in this shock collar, which I'm trying to turn but not having any luck with right now. But a ton of adjustment there. Let's crack the top open. And as we see, they came with no oil inside, which is fine. But there is this little rubber membrane. And that is really going to help quite a bit when it comes to, you know, a leaky shock issue. That right there should remedy any potential leaking shocks. So now, as you can see, the shocks, obviously, they come fully assembled, which is great. The spring tension, as you can see, this comes with 3 sets of springs. And this feels like a super hard spring that's on here. I'll crack the other ones open here. You can take a gander at them. And they've done a good job in that they've kind of bunched 2 together and 2 together. And I was looking for some identifying markings. And sure enough, on these 2, if you look right there, there's kind of like a mustard yellow little stain there. And a bit of mustard yellow right there. It's kind of half washed off. So that is indicating, you know, yellow and yellow, meaning that this is one certain firmness level of, is that a word, firmness? Yeah, I guess it is. Firmness or stiffness level of spring. We're talking springs here, guys. And this one here has like a bit of like a teal sort of greeny kind of color on it. There's a bit more right there. So that's indicating another color or another stiffness level. And to be honest, guys, they're all really, really pretty stiff. I can't really tell which one's stiffer. They all feel like super duper stiff. So maybe these guys are a bit softer. I'll go to their website and check it out. But just wanted to identify the fact that, you know, they do come with 3 sets of springs, and the springs are all clearly identified. So you know which is which and which ones to pair together. So that's a nice thing. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. These are the Yeah Racing 65mm big bore shocks. And check them out on eBay. Link down below in the description. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to throw them down there in the comment section. Always happy to answer. Thank you again so much for watching, guys. Be excellent to each other. Bye for now.